Hello, everybody, and welcome back. In the last episode, you'll have to go to the last episode and watch and find out. And this episode, we're gonna continue from the last one. Give you a little bit of advice, a little not advice, to give you a little understanding of what happened a little bit just before the end. So if you don't want to go see what happens, just understand this is a bit of a spoiler. We're actually going to the surface of the water. Let's get this through. I'm thrown from my seat from a sudden acceleration as the wench pulls taut, the sub creaking painfully as the ceiling pinned it down scrapes against it. I thought we were going the to capsize. Jeez, this girl. Ah, there he is. Huh? Sure looks like he's in a hurry. That must mean that we hit the jackpot. I wonder if that going too fast, if that actually lifts out of the water. When the hull breaks the water, I fling open the hatch, crawling out ahead towards the ship's force. What are you doing, Natsu? That's dangerous. Hey, you're gonna fall in. You can't swim with that leg, can you? If I don't hurry, that girl's gonna die. That girl? Minimal suddenly noticed the body held between the manipulator's claws. Who's that? The girl is floating face down, unmoving, her body limp. I crawl towards her and thrust my hand. Grab hold quickly! She doesn't move. Maybe she's unconscious. I push myself off the sub's hull, trying to make my way over to her, but my foot drives against the rust metal. I feel a shudder beneath me. What? My leg catches against the framework. My pathetic leg, which tears away from my body. I fall into the water and sink beneath the surface, stunned. I gaze up at the soft morning light glimmering through the azure. Azure? I'm guessing that's supposed to be the shore. I don't know. Is that? I don't know. It's beautiful. Perhaps it's because I instantly realized the hopelessness of my pl- pl- plight, but I'm surprisingly calm. My clothes are heavy with water. My one leg doesn't even attempt to keep me afloat. Opening myself to the soft embrace of the cool, radiant light, I let my body be taken by the depths. As this is, so this is how I die. At least I'm going to die somewhere beautiful. I'd rather my last breath fill with I'd rather my last breath fill my lungs with water than darkness. As I gaze in wonder at the shimmering light, like a million jewels, enveloping my body, a shadow starts to form within them. It grows and grows, blocking all the beauty from my view. Stop it. Don't take the light away. The darkness scares me. Yeah, that's definitely an eye opener. Mm. The shadow bears down on me, and I feel a strange sensation against my lips. I can see clearly now. The shadow is the girl. What is she doing? She's sinking with me, pushing air into my mouth from her own. As I feel her gift of oxygen fill my lungs, a terrible thought begins to float through my mind. I don't want to die. I came to this town because I had lost everything. I thought I had no reason to live anymore. And yet, I do not want to die. What a selfish, greedy creature a human can be, to want to live on without reason. But now, there's no way back. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. If she hadn't tried to save me, she could have lived on. But even with her breath sustaining me, my one remaining leg can do nothing but keep us from falling into the darkness. I plunge I plume of bubbles erupt from her mouth as she tries to say something. Not wishing to waste more air, she quickly presses her mouth back to mine, points points upward. Through the shining water comes a shape, a thin, long line connecting us to the light, a rope. I grab a hold of it and wrap my other arm around the girl. Shadowy Footsteps is the name of this song. Ugh. I collapse on the ship's deck, basking in the sheer joy of breathing freely once more. I had to let that play out. I'm sorry. Ah! I can't even do it right. I can't do a girl's voice. What can I say? Ah! That was so scary. I thought you were going to die, Natsu. Ah! Ah! Thanks for helping me, to. No, that wasn't me. Couldn't let my meal ticket get away now, could I? She holds the rope with a grin. I don't have the energy to snap at her like I normally would for once. I'm grateful for her debt collector instincts. So I suppose I should ask, who's the girl? She's sitting next to me, soaking wet, seemingly unfazed. She's still holding the sleeve of my shirt in her hand. Her grip is firm, as if she's trying to stop me jumping into the sea again. Thank you. There's no need to thank me. I was merely carrying out my innate duty. That's a strange phrase. Where did you come from? She Where did she come from? She wasn't from she wasn't with you when you dived, was she? I found her down there. She was sleeping in my grandmother's storehouse. What? Sleeping? I think she might be a robot. That is a common colloquial term for a category of equipment I belong to. However, it is imprecise. She's not human. She's just a robot in the shape of a human. She must be a humanoid. Your grandmother was keeping a thing like this down there all this time? Humanoids. Robots to intended to resemble humans as much as possible. Also marketed as androids or ge- geonoids, depending on the manufacturer. Humanoids were produced in Beijing when human damn hiccup started. Humanity's technology progress was at its peak, and their construction was so advanced that they were indistinguishable, indistinguishable from indistinguishable indistinguishable from humans. They don't need to breathe, but their vocal systems are intended to replicate a human voice box. Naturally, that means they need a pair of lungs, or at least something resembling them, to hold air. I owe my life to that particular design quirk. She's a robot? Wow, I couldn't tell at all. Of course not. I am extremely high performance model. Phew. We really have struck the jackpot. This thing will sell for a pretty penny. What? You're going to sell her? Of course, selling it's the reason we savaged it. Humanoids are pretty thin on the ground these days. If we sell it, he'll be able to pay off Professor Yachi Yachi's debt and then some. But isn't that kind of cruel? It's like minimal minimal looks back and forth between Kathleen and the robot girl. Somehow I don't think she'd have the same kind of reaction if she was looking at another piece of industrial machinery. But to the untrained eye, this girl looks just like a human being. Yes, that is not possible. See? She thinks so too. I am a private property of my master. It is against the law to sell me without permission. Your master? Ah, Professor Yachi. Your master died a month ago. Oh, this town sunk into the rising seas 3 years ago. You've been asleep down there for all that time. The robot counts to three on her fingers. Like a look of realization dawns on her face. Oh, so my master is dead. I see. IRP, rest in peace. She doesn't seem very upset. Well, it's a robot saying that even this level of emotion marks it out as a pretty expensive model. Don't you worry though. Your new master's right here. This kid here got all the professor's stuff in her will. The robot girl turns to me and peers closely to my face. I see, so yeah, I suppose I'm your master now. For some reason, I felt like that was the case from the very first time I saw you. Under the water, I should have known. She speaks with a strange air of conviction. Conviction. She tugs on my sleeve again. She looks like a kid who's just found her dad. I wonder if a suffocating advanced robot significantly advanced robot without a master experiences the same fear as a lost child would. What should I call you? I will adjust my speech protocol accordingly. Popular options include Master, Sir, Big Bro, Daddy. Just call me Natsuki. Abruptly cut her off before she says something I really don't want to have in my head. Adoro Natsuki is my name, Natsuki. And what do I call you? Would you like to confirm my serial number? She reaches behind her head and lifts up her hair. Her serial number must be on the back of her neck. No, I'm asking if you have a name. I wouldn't be surprised if that old bag never gave her one. My name is ATRI. My master gave it to me. ATRI. That's a nice name. The words slip out of my mouth without thinking. I know, right? Being given a human name, is proof of being recognized as a living being. It's a it's a mark it's a marker of status. Robot Robots think of names in that way. I'd never considered that before. Natsuki is a Natsuku Natsuki. I'm just gonna call it as they call it. Is a pretty nice name too, I suppose. Are you patronizing me? Error. I do not understand the word patronizing. She looked up at me with a blank expression. It's probably my imagination, but there seems to be a glint of mischief in, in her young, delicate eyes. Then again, maybe it is just a reflection of the midday sun. I think back to to the light that I saw underwater. After staring at me for a moment, Atri suddenly smiles. It's a smile so soft and gentle that I have the sudden wish to capture this moment in ember for eternity. Take good care of me, Natsu-san. Natsuki-san, whatever the fuck. She said Natsu-san, so I'm gonna call him as they call him. Atri, my dear moments. Now, that actually brings up a good thing about the first one. We're actually gonna let this sit here for a minute and let me talk. At the very beginning of it, something about the guy saving the world, and then this girl, and it showed the back of her saying, "Will you save me too?" And given the silhouette and the color of the hair and the outfit she was wearing, makes me think that this is her. And I mean, it makes a big kind of how do I put this? Like a dirt thing to say that of course it's gonna be her. She's a robot. She's an expensive robot, and she's detrimental to, as far as we can tell just from these two episodes, that she has some kind of meaning towards this. And now he has a debt that he has to pay. He has her next to him, and the biggest problem he has right now that I can tell of is he has a debt. That's the only problem I see him having right now. What might mean, what it, what does it mean that he has to save the world is yet to be seen, and I'm hoping that we can actually see that. But I could definitely see that this is a very good game, and I'm really happy that I got this. Now back to the game. I remember the first thing my grandmother said to me when I walked into her hospital room, propped up by a walking stick, dragging my ill fitting prosthetic leg. You look like a mess. That's all. If I hadn't sold my cybernetic leg, I wouldn't have been able to pay my tuition fee. And yet, you've ended up crawling back here anyway. Who does that remind me of? Well, I guess it's my fault in the end. I didn't expect those words to hit me hard, but they did. To hear this selfish woman say that something was her fault came straight out of the blue. I'm glad you've returned, though I want you to carry on my research, Natsuki. I lost a lot when the sea rose, but my work isn't finished yet. I want you to pull up ATRI. If you can take her where she needs to go, our plan can start again. ATRI? My clumsy, useless housekeeper. I was surprised to hear someone can someone as, as content cantankerous as her would employ a maid. I don't really know what you want me to do, but I can tell it's not something I can manage. I am a mess after all. Psst. You're going to let a little thing like losing your leg beat you? You're not dead yet, boy. Don't you want to save the world? That island is still out there, somewhere on the ocean. You have to find it, Natsuki. When we reach the pier, Minimal huffily hops off the boat. God, I'm really curious about her, but I gotta go get to school. Make sure you come to school tomorrow too, Natsu-kun. There's something I want to talk to you about. She runs off without waiting for a reply. Damn it, I'm so late. School? Right. We should get going too. Where to? Town. We've gotta sell this thing, of course. Don't know where yet, but I want to get a few quotes at least. She hops from the ship too. I'm about to jump down myself when I feel Audrey staring up at me with a strange expression. She's been clinging to my sleeve this whole time. Do you need some help? Nope, I've got this. I jump down from the swaying deck. I brace myself with my walking stick as I land wobbling. Easy, I can manage that in my sleep. Audrey follows after me, hurriedly trotting up to me and grabbing onto my sleeve again. Let's go. Affirmative. Affirmative. We travel all the way in the corner of the town. Long ago, the shipping streets here were extremely lively. As time changed, it became nearly abandoned, but the economics shock caused by the great sea rise led to it becoming a thriving hub for trading once again. Now it's a chaotic bustling place of black market full of stalls and vendors. Don't you just love it here? Dirty, grimy, and filled with the absolute scum of the world. The perfect place for someone like me to blend in. Despite her assertion, this is still only a small town, so outsiders stick out like a sore thumb, Catherine and I included. Thanks to my gint, hobbling gint, I can usually feel the stares on me wherever I go. There's something different today, though for once all the eyes are on the person walking behind me. Her footsteps light and pattering have no trouble keeping up with my slow walk. The sound of bare feet on concrete is no noticeably strange. Noticeably strange. Hey, can't you do something about that noise? Catherine turns with a with a sigh and a frown. ATRI merely stares, still holding onto the hem of my sleeve. I can't recall if her feet were always bare or if she just lost her shoes when we were underwater. I assume since she's wearing clothes, otherwise it's the later. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I don't exactly have the a collection of girls' shoes. I can just pull out my ass. Well, it's gonna make a bad impression. You look like a slave trader or something. You're not helping that, you know. Kathleen looks completely out of place here in this country backwater. I'm pretty sure Kathleen isn't even her real name. She's very obvious, obviously completely Japanese, born and bred. Even though I've been working with her, I don't really know anything about her. May I ask a question? What is this place? Audrey looks around the stalls. You know this place, right? You were my grandmother's maid. I have no records of this place in my memory. I suppose that's understandable. After all, the flatland here was in inundated when the water rose, separating it from the mainland. So it must have changed a lot. Once a coastal town, now this is an island. Suddenly being separate from civilization has caused a lot of problems. Transport, electricity, communications on the island have been disconnected. This place wasn't anywhere near as busy when I lived here. It used to be a ghost town and so peaceful. The road we took to get here has completely changed too. It's like the rising water has washed away the old town in the same way even precious memories can be lost in the morass of fresh point pointless ones. Don't your feet hurt? Some models of humanoids are equipped with pain receptors in order to make them as human like as possible. I'm fine. I'm a high performance model after all. She shows me the bottom of her foot with a triumphant smile. Her dress kicks up as I glimpse her bare legs beneath it. I know that they're not made of real skin, that they'd that they're not real legs, but their slim, gently curved silhouette makes so perfectly looks so perfectly human. I can't take my eyes off them. Is something wrong? It's nothing. I trudge my way through the crowds, propping my leg up on my walking stick as I shuffle my cranking, creaking leg forward. The store Kathleen is aiming for is way off in the distance. Hey, can we take a detour? There's a place I want to stop by. Can't it wait? I I'll only be a minute. I turn off the main road and into a back street. I stop in front of a particular stall. So, which do you want? Hmm? Audrey tilts her head quizzically, still clinging onto my sleeve in her delicate fingers. It's a shoe store. Take your pick. Only from the only from the ones on the shelf though. A bunch of particularly cheap children's shoes are all lined up. They're all I can afford with how little money I have. So it's luckily that they're the perfect size. You're gonna buy these for me? Yep. Ah, I get you. If it's got dirty feet, people are going to try and haggle the price down for it. Good thinking. It's not what I was thinking. Audrey looks over the shoes, humming as she does. Hurry up, shoes are shoes. Just grab a pair. Please wait. There are several criteria for me to consider, and I can't choose so quickly. This pair is more robust, but these are the most efficiently pleasing. And when you bring cost proficiency into action, you're as annoying little machine. You're an annoying little machine. Can't you pick for her? Er, Taken by surprise, I reach out and pick the first pair I see. I think these would suit you best. Cute shoe. Guarantee it. It says shoe on the inside. Cute shoe. It's a pair of brown loafers. Thankfully cheap ones. After I pay the store owner, politely swipes. After I pay the store owner, politely swipes Audrey's feet and puts them on. Oh, the perfect size. Great, now let's go. Hee hee hee. Sorry. Audrey walks alongside me, deliberately kicking her feet up high with each step. She seems pretty happy with her bottom of the barrel footwear. You really like those shoes that much. Not that she seems to mind being barefoot. I do, after all, you were the one who gave them to me. Somehow seeing her this happy about them makes me particularly uncomfortable. Is it wrong for me to be happy? No, it's not. No, it's fine. I knew it. Good. She exhales a smile, oddly relieved. Is there some kind of rule robots work about robots works not being allowed to be happy or something? I studied robotics at the academy, but I don't know about the programming of models as old as ATRI. We soon reached the store Catherine was aiming for. It's a junk shop with a with all manners of electronics and machinery lying around in ugly heaps. As I try to enter, I feel a tug on my sleeve. Turn around, Audrey stopped walking. What's up? Are you gonna sell me? Yep. Um, I have a request. Could you wait for a little while? I'm taken aback. It's unusual for a robot to make a request of a human. There must be a particular reason for her to ask something like that. How long is a little while? 45 days? After that, I don't mind. Why do you want us to wait? Um, Not a chance. Do you really think we're going to get we're going to let you hang around for that long? Before Audrey can respond, Kathleen butts in. Come on, get in here. She pulls Audrey by the hand into the store. I follow along behind, brow furrowed. The owner is visibly surprised to see Audrey. Is that a humanoid? I didn't know there were any of those still running. This one's a real doozy, too, a proper high performance one, the kind that you can hardly even find in the big cities these days. The owner's eyes Kathleen suspiciously. You're the new gal around here, aren't you? Don't want to be rude, but you should get out of this town. This is a quiet place, and we don't keep your kind around here. Don't you worry. As soon as I finish my business, I'm out of here. How much? What, you're gonna sell this little one? He glances up and down, up and down. There ain't no way I'm going to be able to buy her. Why not? You think I got that much cash laying around? I've not even got anyone around here to sell her to. I suppose I could find you someone who'd be willing to take her off your hands, though. Give this a look at your serial number, lass. She looks over at me as if requesting permission. I nod and she lifts up her hair. There are no, there are, there are, there on the nape of her neck is the serial number. The owner tattered, frantics a tattered yellowing file from his desk and starts flickering through the page. A fourth generation factory's unit. This model got recalled after they found a bunch of bugs. So you're saying she's not worth anything? That can't be right. She's working, moving humanoid. Even one with a couple little bugs here and there should be worth something. She's probably right. She probably right. She probably right. I'm gonna stick with she's probably right. Most of the robot factories were destroyed by the sea rise, which lead to most companies going bankrupt and a lot of industry secrets being lost. Their secret security means ATRI could fetch dozens of times what my grandmother paid for her. You got that right. She he starts God, sorry. He starts typing away at a calculator. I watch his fingers dance, tension growing in my chest. My ship wasn't the only thing I inherited from my grandmother. With it came a colossal debt. Even if I worked constantly for years and years, I'd struggle to pay it off. I found out about it when Kathleen turned up at my door just after she died. So this is the repossession order. Yeah, and it's not like I can go here, take some money, and then I have in the yeah, and it's not like I can just go here, take more money than I have in the world, and wave you off. She responds to my expression with a cold stare. Yeah, I know that. I didn't expect you to just hand it over right away. I'm not leaving this town empty handed, though. I'm a pro, you know. She leans in slightly toward me, as if to emphasize her breast. Let's work together. I got a very, very interesting proposal for you. I want to salvage Professor Yachima's belongings. I've heard that there's something very valuable in the ruins of her storage house at the bottom of the ocean. We'll raise that up and split whatever profit we make selling it. Your debt will vanish just like that, and I'll make a little on the side too. How about it, kid? And so the mysterious Kathleen and I started working together. I don't know how Kathleen knew there was something in the storehouse, but she came to me with a plan to use my grandmother's submarine to salvage it. It was in a very real way. It was in a very real way, like a drowning man finding a lifeboat. I have hardly any money at the best of times, and when I do, I've better I've better things to spend it on than some old bag's debt, like getting back the things I've lost. Where did you find the last, if you don't mind me asking? The owner peers over to me suspiciously. That's understandable, I suppose. Strangers turn up out of nowhere with a humanoid in tow, looking to sell. It's natural to think they might have procured it through a typical means. She was my grandmother's. She was in my grandmother's storehouse. We salvaged her from the bottom of the ocean. Is that true? Yes, absolutely. Natsuki pulled me up from the ocean just this morning. Huh, gotcha. That's gonna be a nice for you. That's gotta be nice for you, right? Must have been mighty cold down there. I was asleep, so I don't remember. So, do you think you'll be able to sell me for a high price? Even though you're a defective model, they should get about this much for you. He holds the calculator towards us. I can hardly phrase the number on it. All I can tell is that it would pay off my grandmother's debts with plenty left over for me. Oh yeah, I've hit the jackpot, baby. She victoriously thrusts her fist into the air. All I can do is stand there, speechless. I see a number benefiting a high performance model like me. Very satisfying. Even though we're discussing selling her, she looks distantly smug. She doesn't mind being sold off. I suppose she is a robot. I'm sure I can find you someone to buy her. I'll be taking, say, 5% for myself, Natch. Well, I can live with that. How long do you think it'll take? I'm gonna have to go out to the big city for the deal like this, so give me a month or so. I don't want to be waiting around forever. You'll try to find someone quick, right? Of course. Yeah, ain't the only ones who'd appreciate a little cheddar right now. So, which one of these two is your master? It's Natsuki. Ah, gotcha. It's you then. Silly question. I know a humanoid's not gonna get their master wrong. Yeah, it's me. Not that it really feels that way since we've only just met. You're gonna have to be with her when I sell her, right? Can't sell a humanoid without their master permission. Understood. I'll come along too. I don't want you two running off with my hard-earned cash. Kathleen's eyes are still sparkling. Couldn't help but notice, but that leg of yours is plenty retro, innit? He nods downward. He's right. My leg's so old and beat up, it could be something I found on these junk heaps on sale here. Yeah, I know. Luta fancy cosmetics going cheap on the market these days. When you get your cash, give me a be- give me a bell and I'll get you one, yeah? He grins as he holds out a catalog of expensive looking cybernetic limbs. Back in more preposterous time, pro, prosperous, prosperous times, even people with fully fully able bodies would get cybernetic implants to improve their strength or make certain jobs easier. It's still pretty common among the rich nowadays. The catalog seems to be full of implants aimed at the market. I'll think about it. I mutter non-committedly and leave the store. Phew. Looks. Let's go and grab something to eat. I've had nothing all day but an apple. My breakfast, you mean? I'm even hungrier than her as a result. Well, that worked out well for you, didn't it? Huh? He said he'd be able to take you at least a month, just like I wanted. The sale goes. The sale's going to be put off for quite some time. Oh yes, thank you. But why did you want to wait? It's almost unheard of for robots to make a demands or ask to ask or to talk back to humans. They have they have to have a particular processing reason to do so. Before I fell asleep, my master gave me an order. I would like to fulfill it before I'm sold. An order. Robots have always been programmed to obey three laws. 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and second laws. For most humanoids, their entire reason for existing is simply to obey those three laws. Would you like a better leg? I sure would. In that case, for as long as we're together, I'll be your leg. It's the least I can do. You gave me these lovely shoes after all. She looks proudly down at her feet. I'm sure I'll make a much better leg than that one you're using at the moment. I'll pass, thanks. Why? I'm much more high performance than that thing. I'm saying I don't need you. I'm fine by myself. Without realizing, I started to raise my voice. A real human girl would probably cower in fear after being shouted at like that, but ATRI just looks confused, unsure on how to react. Snapping at a robot? Jeez, kid. Sorry. Right, I think it'd be best if I take care of things until the junk guy finds the buyer. Come on, let's go. He grabs ATRI's hand. ATRI looks over at me with a pleading gaze. Hang on a second. I'll take care of her. What? Don't be stupid. How do I know you're not just going to run off with my big payday? Oh shit. Okay, so let's go to the previous. Yes. I want to see how far this back takes me. Okay. Now I'm going to do oh shit. Now I'm going to do a quick save. There we go. Actually, let's do an actual save. No, you know what? Let's do it here. And that way we can see the actual outcome. So let's go to take care of her. Hang on a second. I'll take care of her. Natsuki-san. What? Don't be stupid. How do I know you're not going to run off with my big payday? How do I know that you won't? Why would I? I couldn't sell her without her master there. The situation's completely different. She is regrettably right. I've got no reason to oppose her taking her, I suppose. If anything, it'll be a weight off my shoulders. ATRI, go with Kathleen. Understood. She finally lets go of my sleeve. I'll call you when the sale's arranged. Phew, I'm starving. What should I have for dinner? A satisfied Kathleen trots off with ATRI treading after her. She looks back at me with a melancholic gaze but says nothing. Robots are made to obey, after all, especially if it's an order from their master. Okay, with this, we're going to do a save. We're going to save that there. That's where that one goes. Now we're going to go here. No, don't save. Then we're going to go load. We're going to go here, and then we're actually going to play the first one. I can't exactly have some girl taking up my space, can I? She'll have to go with Kathleen. She stares at me, her soulless eyes somehow seems to carry the slight glint of loneliness. Go on, ATRI. Go with Kathleen. Understood. I'll leave her with you. Gotcha. She's finally let go of my sleeve. I'll call you when the sales arranged. Shoot, I'm starving. What's for dinner? All right, and that brings us back to where we were. So it's just a little shortcut. We're actually gonna go back to here. Now that we know that it kind of circulates right back. Uh, don't give me that look. What else can I do? Watching them walk off, I start to hobble my own way back to the road. The skies grow dark as I sit boring a hole in my walls with my eyes. Soft classic music lights through the room from the radio. The sound, however, is interrupted constantly by static. The ship's lights flickers unsettlingly too. The town itself has no electricity. The only power I have is the wind turbine. It's small but barely able to keep the lights and the radio on, but it's enough. But on a still windless night, it's windless night like this, I'm constantly plunged into darkness. I can feel the night approaching. A creeping dread like tendrils winding around my legs. I suppose I'll try to get some sleep. Should I get into bed while there's still some light left? And with that, we're going to close it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. These are actually going a little longer than I was planning on it. But I'm getting to some points where it's getting to something like this, and we can cut it off a little bit. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a bomb ass day, noon or night, depending on when you guys are watching. I really do appreciate you guys being around for all my videos. I'm trying to get some of them constantly going, and I'm trying to get them somewhat set up. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode or live stream. Bye bye.